Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Kpush podcast. This is episode 167. Nick V, we are returning with the regular.
Hello.
You are the regular, by the way.
Am I the regular?
You are the regular
This
of this
can't
podcast.
be the regular. If there's 167 episodes, I've been on 3 times.
You've been on like 3 or 4 times. You're the regular.
Okay. All right, that's
All
fair.
right, so we're going to watch this clip. So this girl, she does OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Okay? And this is her talking to her brother on her podcast.
Okay.
Okay? Are you ready for this?
Yes.
All right.
No.
So let's
Bro,
restart.
why? Do you think I'm a good sister?
No.
Bro, why?
You're my sister. You're mean to me.
Not all the time. Bro, we live in
You're saying
different
this shit
states.
because you're on a podcast.
No, we live in different states. How I mean you. I mean to when you're failing your classes, yeah.
I'm not failing.
A D,
It's not failing.
that's a D, it's failing.
F is failing. F
A
is
D is failing.
For you it is because you're an A+ child.
Right, I am.
Shut the hell up. You're literally doing your career is in only.
Yeah.
You can't be talking. You're doing. You're
guy actually
selling
got mad.
pictures of whatever. You can't be saying. All that studying was for what? For what?
So
Do you think I'm a good sister?
It smells fake.
So
But
does it
let's say-
smell fake?
It smells a little fake.
It smells fake to you?
Yeah, it's too. I don't know. It's too. I just don't fucking. I don't know.
So here's the thing that does seem gross to me, right? Either it's fake or it's real. Either way, this is disgusting, right? So I don't necessarily think that that kid is a good actor. But that was real emotion there. So either they've had this discussion before.
Well, yeah, I couldn't tell if he actually got mad or.
Well, and
what
the
it
thing is, in that video, the video that I watched on the other episode I did by myself was with no music, and there was with the cussing not cursed. And there's something different when there's fake TikTok music over it. Do you know what I mean? Because it kind of like gives this dramatic effect. Well, if you just watch this without music and with silence, and the silence of him just yelling at her, there's something that seems real about it. Although it is like this girl who does OnlyFans is just not a real person. Like in any I think she fakes a majority of her social interactions in general. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like Dexter. Have you ever watched Dexter?
No.
So, anyways, it's a character. Dexter's a character who kills people, right? He's a serial killer. And he talks about how he fakes a majority of his interactions in life in general. So it seems like this girl isn't a serial killer per se, but is somebody who sells her body online for clout. And I think that she's lived majority of her life online. And so I think she's just gotten kind of used to this fake personality she's attained.
Maybe.
Sort of like, it's almost like Kim Kardashian. It's like Kim Kardashian. Is
No,
that
I
fake
see.
or
That's the thing
scripted?
is, I don't
It's
even
like-
think it's like a fake. Those type of people. I don't think it's a fake personality. I just think like that's what gets bred
Right.
when you live that type of like you talk to a rich enough whatever. Like that's probably actually organic. The personality.
She's developed this organic, unorganic personality.
I guess I don't see the fakeness you're talking about. I've never watched anything from this lady,
She
so I
just
have no
looks,
idea.
she always has this look in her eyes like a demon that's hungry for power.
Yeah,
Tim
that's
Dillon-
not fake though. That's not fake.
Right.
That's
right.
the thing. That's
right.
you're perceiving people like that is like a fake persona. Now the reality is like that's probably
Her.
yeah, that she does want that.
Yeah. So Tim Dillon talks a lot about this with the
This lady or
not this lady, but with the double chocolate cookie, the Costco
yeah, those
guys.
fucking guys.
Yeah, he calls them demons sent from hell.
That's funny.
Who are just trying to attain fame and power. And I think that he's absolutely correct. What I'm trying to say is I think you're going to have a lot of these people come up who
Yeah.
are like just demons trying to gain fame, wealth, power.
Yeah.
And I think
Well, here I don't think it's not that it's not that the people themselves are like inherently evil. It's just that evil shit is so easily it's evil shit is very tempting.
Yes.
Because fame and all this shit, you get all the vainglory you get from it. So it's not as much as like the person themselves being evil, but if you don't have some sort of moral structure or guide, kind of mapping it out, like hey, like if what's the word I'm looking for? Like unassisted, you will if you don't have some kind of thing keeping you in line, you will like do evil shit to attain goals.
That makes sense.
And that works. Yes. It works here. It's not always the thing of like, well, it's just the good player, the people who play fair succeed. It's like, no, there's people. You can do really evil shit to elbow your way ahead. So
you're a religious guy, sort of, kind of.
In the last year, I started going to church again, and then I kind of, in the last couple weeks, I've been floundering a little bit in like. I think I was very set in what I believed, and then I learned a little bit more about just the way Christianity came about. And so it's not that like I think I'm all in on the J-Man, you know.
Right.
I think
sure.
I think Jesus happened. And again, this is something that I don't know why I've been trying to research it a little bit and get back into it. But I have a friend who was ex-Mormon, and now he's not atheist, but he like
monogamistic.
I can't remember what he believes exactly, but he let me. He's like, hey man, the Gospels weren't written by, you know, because it seems pretty cut and dry. And then he's like, you know, the Gospels were written like way after Jesus, and also they weren't written by anyone who actually saw him. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? So now I'm in a kind of a weird place right now, because for the last year I was pretty chill on what I believed in, and then he dropped that on me, and there's probably something to refute that. And I feel like I looked into it at one point. I did some Googling, but I didn't really find much. So I'm in a weird place right now. Like,
yeah. And I think
pre-church I was, you know, angry, kind of fucking. It's weird. It's kind of a weird thing when someone has a huge thing to like, hey, you know that thing you believe in? Here's a big fucking hole in it. And I'm like, I don't really know. I'm not a theologian.
Right.
You know, and I you know, read what I read, and I'm fairly knowledgeable. Like,
sure.
I can explain shit. But when someone hit me with like a level 10 argument against, you know, what I believe in, it's just kind of it kind of sent me for a loop this last like week probably.
And then not only that though, I mean, if you're talking strictly about the Bible, you have to remember that it's like word of mouth stories told generations and generations and generations.
Yeah.
And then it's written in another language from the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah.
And then it's converted from the Dead Sea Scrolls to Latin, and then it's converted from Latin to Greek, and then it's converted from Greek to all the other languages we have now. And it's like, how much information are you actually missing from the original text / stories?
Well, and that's where the church I was going to is can you look up?
Yeah.
Can you look up Orthodox timeline map? This might make sense. This might Eastern Orthodox timeline map. Let's see. Go images.
Images. Here we go.
Go to probably that green one will probably work.
This one?
Yeah.
Right here?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Let me put this in full screen
good.
here. And then I got to bring it up so that the people on the podcast can see.
Yeah.
There we go.
So at one point.
Yeah, keep talking, please.
No, you're good. At one point there was so you know how now it's like someone will go, "Oh, you're Christian. What Christian?" Because there's, you know, Baptist. Fucking there's a million different things now.
Right.
And so it was one there didn't used to be a thing. There was one church.
Yeah.
Right. And there's one church, and then in like 1050, see where it splits?
Yep.
That's where now the Catholics are their own thing. because they had a disagreement. They had a disagreement on a couple things
about Jesus, right? Wasn't it mostly about Jesus?
It was yeah.
That's what my mom explained to me.
Yeah, she told you about this.
Yeah. Because I was my dad was brought up Catholic.
Yeah.
And my mom was brought up Christian, and I was brought up mostly Christian.
Yeah.
I was taught some of Catholic.
Yeah. So the Catholic Church split from Orthodoxy because they went. It was from what I remember, the two things were the Orthodox Church. There's no Pope, so we don't have a Pope. Because the idea of the Pope doesn't. I mean, it never really made sense to me personally. That matters, I guess. But they had a big council, and they're like the papacy, the Pope. If the Pope says something, it's good, and so they disagreed on that, which is huge.
So wait,
and
the
then
big one was
thing.
Crusades. That was the big divide here.
No. So the Crusades were done by the Catholic Church.
Oh,
Orthodox Church.
But there's a split right there, right at the Crusades.
Yeah, well,
it happens in 1050, and then the Crusades start right afterwards. I didn't know that.
Yeah, basically, pretty soon after that, the Catholic Church, because they're kind of in their own power now. And
right.
Crusading.
Okay.
And then the other thing was the filioque, but it was one church, and then it split into the Catholic Church, and then all these other things like Lutheranism, baptism, Baptist Church. Pentecostal church, whatever, all the splits come out of the Catholic Church.
Okay.
There isn't any of that in Orthodoxy. There's no schism. So we're you know the word Protestant?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Did your mom explain?
I know a little bit about the very, very little, that they're slightly different from Catholics.
Yeah, but it's Protestant. So they're like, fuck the Catholic Church, we don't like them, and so they protested against them. But, and I got back into Christianity recently. My grandma, I wasn't raised super strict, but my grandma's Catholic. But she's like, well, I don't believe in the Pope. But I'm Catholic, but because it's just like there's Catholic churches where I'm from, and it's like that or you're Baptist. She didn't really like that, but I got raised as, very loose Catholic, but we all kind of were like the Pope is just like silly.
Right.
And Orthodoxy is basically, it's a lot like Catholicism. It's just there's no Pope. And another thing where it's like, well, she used to tell me, I think priests should be able to have wives. In Orthodoxy, you can have a wife if you're a priest. And so there's all these weird little differences where,
Sure.
Basically, I was raised as Catholic, but we disagreed, and I'm like, oh, why not just? I mean, basically, the shit that you disagree with is what they follow.
Right.
And I started going this year. It was very cut and dry, like just historical. Like this is where the church was, and we've held on to all the shit. But yeah, my buddy hit me with that bomb of just like, because when you see there's like 4 gospels, it's like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and so intuitively you just go, oh well, those are like the 4 of the 12 dudes he hung around.
Right.
Apparently, it's different guys.
Huh.
It's just a weird, I don't want to yap about religion the whole podcast.
Sure. But this is very interesting.
Yeah, I was very secure in what I believed in. For like the last year, I was pretty certain that I was gonna be baptized Orthodox, and then now I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck, like, because now, I mean, from what he told me, and I need to talk to someone too, so I can see if they can refute this, or if he might have just been saying shit. I might need to do more research. But if what he's saying is true, now I'm not relying on, now I'm like putting it in the hands of like humans. Now I'm putting my faith in some guy named fucking John that lived 150 years after Jesus. Now I kind of don't give a fuck, because he could be lying, So it's weird. It's very weird to go like right back into old school traditional religion, and then just be like, oh, fuck, now I don't know. That's what I've been in the last week. It's been very weird.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of glad that I caught you at this moment where you can kind of articulate.
Yeah, it's
what the fuck's
weird.
Going on
Like literally a month ago, I'd have been like, "Yep, that's the fucking. These guys are correct."
And the
there's
Roman
no
Catholic Church
argument.
is gay.
Yeah, I would have been like, these guys are correct. There's no argument.
So what?
And now the whole thing is, you know, it's a weird thing. It's almost like I hope my buddy's wrong.
Right.
And I need to look into it a little bit
Sure,
more. But
sure.
now the whole thing is like fallible. What I still do believe in is historically Jesus was written about by even non-Christian, like Romans, you know, people who were reporting back to Rome from the Middle East or wherever. There's like a bunch of historical documents from just people who aren't religious at all talking about him.
So we'll move on right after this, but when I'm looking at this and I didn't know, and what I find very, very interesting, by the way, these waters aren't open. You can grab one of those too if you get thirsty. But either way, when I look at this timeline of the church history, and then there's a break off of the Catholic Church, there also seems to be these big break-offs of like the Church of England or Luther's 95 thesis Reformance begins in the 1517, and then the Church of England starts in 1529. Like these are it looks like these are major churches branched off of the Catholic Church, which is a branch off of the Christian Church.
Right. So it's like
that's nuts.
Splits here, here, and then there's more splits within
and then
there.
It looks
there's
like
Baptist Church.
There's splits within the splits of the split from the original.
That'll show the whole, like all that, because now there's so many denominations.
See,
now.
that's nuts to me.
Yeah, well, that's why in my head I'm like, oh, well, you know,
this is
and just the whole thing of no one trusting Catholics. And I mean, there's Catholics that are Catholic, but like the general thing is to like dog on Catholics and be like they molest kids and they're, you know, whatever. It's kind of this general, like, the Catholic Church gets shit on a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's because they you know, did some fuckery. So I don't know. I'm in a weird place right now where, you know, I think I didn't really grow up really religious. And when you talk to religious people, they're just like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna have things that are gonna like shake you up and make you like wonder what you even believe in." So I'm just kind of in that right now, which is like a weird. It's kind of a weird place to be.
And you're following the Orthodox Church.
Yeah, I've been going there for like a year.
Okay, so here's what I've always thought.
And I'm just yapping at this point.
No, please.
We went straight from OnlyFans to.
I know. This is. I love this podcast so much.
Yeah.
So.
OnlyFans to church history is pretty crazy.
The thing is that I really feel about religion is even when I look at this right here, and this is a perfect example of this is too much. This is too much. You got one branch, and then you got another branch, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 branches off of one religion. And I just go, this is too much, man.
Yeah.
That's too much, man.
It gets complicated.
There's no way one of these religions figured it out.
Yeah.
I just I refuse that idea. That there's a religion on this planet right now that has somehow figured out all the answers to the universe.
Yeah.
I refute that idea.
That's where, like, you know, again, like a few months ago, I would have been like, no, these guys.
Right.
They basically mapped it out. Like,
right.
These are the guys who are correct. And now I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like,
I just don't. Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of a weird.
And I'm not saying what everything they say is wrong. I'm not saying.
No.
I probably think that every religion gets a part of it correctly.
Yeah.
I probably think and there's a lot of crossovers, right?
Yeah.
This idea of God, like the three major ones, all have this idea of God: Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Catholicism is also a big one. Catholicism. Judaism and Islam all have this idea of there's this like one guy basically who snapped his fingers and created this huge idea.
Yeah.
And
I'm still monotheistic. I still think
that's where I am too.
Yeah, I'm still God's real, there's one. And I've been that forever. Like I've been that way before I was ever like into Christian or anything.
I don't know about that.
That's just
I don't know.
That's just where I'm at.
I think it's that, but I have no idea.
Yeah.
I really don't know. And also, a lot of them sort of have this story that kind of relates to the Big Bang Theory. One day there was darkness. The next day there was light.
Yeah.
In Islam, there's this story about how the universe is created with the Big Bang.
Yeah.
You know, all these stories kind of relate to some similar idea that might have been passed down through generations and generations and generations and generations, and then they divide into these very specific, because you're dealing with a game of telephone, right?
Yeah, well, you get that's the two sides of the religious argument is like, you know, and when you get like deep into, you know, when you really look into the theology of different ones, I start to shoot down different religions pretty quick of like fucking no way, just logically.
Sure.
But there's that thing of like they're all pointing at the same thing from different angles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's a weird because it really, I mean, I was like pretty much a hard ass and not very open-minded until like very recently that and you know, hopefully I can just fucking Google it and it's like, oh yeah, that's actually wrong what he said.
Right. It won't be. But
yeah, that's the thing. It's
hopefully,
like, you know, either Google it or, you know, whatever someone from my church can be, because there's a lot of just common of like, yeah, we've heard that a million times. That's wrong because this, and this. You run into a lot of that.
Yeah,
and I'm used to that being. I'm used to the arguments against what I believe in being pretty like lackluster.
Sure.
And 100, like as Sam Hyde calls it, 110 IQ. He goes, you're just smart enough to think.
Yeah.
So like that thing of like, well, if God's real, why do bad things happen? And they think they're gonna stump 2,000 years of a religion with that fucking question. You know, I think ultimately I do believe atheism's wrong. That's 100%. I don't. That doesn't make sense to me at all. That's that bell curve 110. You're just smart enough to think, but usually, from what I've understand,
there's a possibility that they're right though.
Not really.
Not really. Not
no.
a chance.
I mean, I guess there's a chance of anything.
No, I don't believe in it. But like, I do think. But
like,
there could
gun
be a
to my,
possibility.
I would right now if you put a gun to my head and it was like, if God isn't real and I pull the trigger, the gun's gonna go off. I'd go okay.
Yeah.
Like if there's a magic gun and it was like, you know.
Well,
if you pull this trigger and you're wrong, you die. I would pull the trigger.
Well, I thought you were going to go in a different direction, which was put a gun to these atheists' head. Are they going to pray to something?
Well, that too. Yeah. That too.
Because I bet a lot of them.
Well, there's
would.
that guy. There's a guy who's like, he tested the highest IQ in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He's like nuts, and they're like, is God real? He's like, yeah. There's like, it's not even an argument.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, it's not even. He says it doesn't make sense for there not to be and he starts talking some 200 IQ shit that I couldn't even understand.
Right.
He starts being like, yeah, it is. So that's just what it is.
Sure, and I lean heavily towards the idea that there has to be something greater.
Yeah. Well, I have too many weird things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like one weird thing that happened. This is part of the reason I really got started going to church a lot. Is I went there. It was the first time I've been to church alone in my entire life, and I go there, and it happened to be on the day that they commemorate Saint Nicholas.
Yeah.
Which is also he's an interesting dude.
Yeah.
Because he was a real guy, and he's like what Santa's based off of.
Right.
But he's an interesting dude, and But it happened. The first time I've ever been to church alone in my entire life. I've been in Austin. I've been living on my own church is a very small part of my life, and for whatever reason, I have this urge to start going to church again. And the first time ever I've been alone, and in the middle of the service, it's something about Saint Nicholas, and they do a thing like a names day thing, and so they go, "Hey, is there anyone in the church named Nicholas today?" And it was the first time I'd stepped into a church in 3 years or something.
Wow.
And it was like me and one other guy. And it was very like, it just was fucking weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you walked into a church and just in the middle of it, they go, "Is someone named Chris here?"
Yeah.
You'd be like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? So
yeah.
there's like, that's like one example. I've had a lot of weird little things, and Christianity makes sense to me. The theology of it makes sense to me, but now I don't know. That guy fucking. I love Scott, but he threw a wrench in my.
Sure.
He threw a wrench in my day. I was chilling being a Christian.
And that's okay. I think it's good to question, your beliefs. I think that
Well,
if
yeah,
there is a
you're not
God, I
gonna-
think he would want, if he gave you consciousness, which, of course, if you believe in God, he did, he would want you to use it. And he'd probably want you to question everything around you, including himself. The one big thing that I've been thinking about recently was this story of the Revelation. This is a big story. Everyone thought that was going to happen during Rome. Everybody thought that as the downfall of the civilization of Rome, that's what the Revelation was, and these were things all leading up.
You're talking not Revelation.
Is it not the Revelation?
It's like the Rapture. You mean?
The Rapture.
Yeah.
The Rapture. I'm so sorry. The Rapture.
Yeah.
So
I'm also like a level 1.
Oh,
you're talking to like a level 1 church kid. So.
Yeah, that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. Well, perfect. This is a podcast for retards, so
All right,
this
perfect.
is amazing. The Rapture. This whole story with the Rapture is that it was supposed to happen during Rome. When the downfall of Rome started, the Rapture was supposed to come. And now this has been happening a lot, this idea of the Rapture, the end times with America.
Yeah.
Right, is this idea of like the end times because America is collapsing. America, like no matter which way you look at it, our society has kind of gone a downhill.
Yeah, it is. We do live in a super weird time.
So
the argument for end times is like
right.
pretty strong right now.
Yes.
So I flip flop back and forth of like kind of this feeling of like this is like the last few chapters.
Yeah.
And then, but then fucking every society always. Never mind. Oops. I fucked up. But every society's always thought that. Fuck.
What happened? What's going on?
My bad. Oh, the Creek open mic at, I'm too far.
The banana phone?
Right now. No. I forgot maybe next time I'll say. Next. See, this is what I mean with like scheduling and just remembering and like just even like getting out of the door on time, shit like that. But I haven't had coffee yet today. I saved it. I was trying to wait till like banana phone's coming up.
Right.
Coffee.
Right.
I need stimulants to function.
Yeah.
And not like to the level of Vyvanse, but pull up a picture of Ritalin. Pull up just a picture of Ritalin. That's what I want on the backdrop for this talk. Ritalin, there it is.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, the
that looks like a horror movie
yeah,
shot.
that's what I want in the back. But I
I
got put on this shit when I was a kid, and so my buddies would be like, "Wait, I don't think it's good that you rely on coffee." And I'm like, I was on 60 milligrams of amphetamines every day
as a child.
as a fucking kid.
Same
And
here.
so yeah. Sorry if I have 2 cups of coffee. every
Right,
day, you
right,
fucking
right, of
pussy,
course.
So, but yeah, I very much need stimulants. That's probably part of the reason I'm all fucking Debbie Downer, like I don't know what I believe in. Blah, blah, blah. I like haven't drank coffee today.
But you were talking about the creek, about
Yeah.
something
Oh,
with the creek.
I was supposed to. I told Spencer. I was supposed to do the open mic tonight, one of the pulled spots on the open mic, and then I fucking forgot. It's one of those
It's an
things.
open mic. What
Yeah,
are you
it's
gonna
fine.
do? It's not a show.
Yeah. It's a 3-minute spot at the end of the day, so I'm chilling. Maybe 5. I don't know what it was, but.
Anyways, we gotta try to recap this. But even the devil. I mean, not the devil. In the Bible, the devil is talked about how he will disguise himself and how demons will disguise themselves as something that is more appealing to hide
and
away good.
That's what I mean. Like the ideals of the whole like how a thing is so seductive and seems
Right.
it's that old saying of like you can't make hell attractive, so you make the path that leads there seem nice.
Right.
And
right.
so
right,
that's
right,
that thing
right,
of like
right.
you just chasing fucking sex or drugs.
And that takes us right back here. So
Right
You're
back to
so
this
set
bitch.
on going to college.
But
Like,
yeah, but that's that thing
just
of like,
don't-
you know, yeah, it is bad. Like it's not good. And I feel like people are starting to realize that now. I think there was a solid while where there was just, you know, like if you were, everyone was just like porn rules.
yeah.
That was a general consensus.
Yes.
Like if you would have, the only people saying like, hey, porn's bad, you shouldn't watch it, it was like some health teacher or
Yeah.
some guy, and you're like, fuck off. I'm literally
Yeah.
gonna jerk off the second
Yes.
you leave the room. So,
yes.
So yeah, whether this is fake or not, yeah, man, it's not. Because the thing is, all this fucking shit, it, you know, I try not to be because now again I'm in this weird week of like I don't even know what I believe in anymore. I think I have a general idea of whatever, but it's been loose. Whatever. What I'm saying is, all this shit. That I think family units are what make society strong.
Yeah.
And all this shit, fucking around, and even scientifically, if you want to be like, if you're not religious, even remove religion from the conversation, the argument is still completely the same. You know, whether you go to church or not, fucking a bunch of people is bad.
Yeah.
Because you know, scientifically they call it parabonding, and you can only bond with so many people, really, until it doesn't really. It's like Velcro. If you just had a Velcro shoe and you went like that 100 times, eventually it doesn't stick so good.
Mhm.
And so, you know, you people like literally think they're just gonna like fuck a different dude every few days or every week, and then like they're gonna find some guy and just settle down, and it's gonna be as easy as that. And then they go, well, like, why are these girls whores? Because they have no dad. Well, why don't they have the dad? Because the family fell apart. Why did the family fall apart? Because their mom's a fucking whore. Because the dad's a. So all this fucking degenerate shit. It does end up. It's bad.
Yeah, it's a trickle down.
It's a trickle down effect of like, you know. And now your family your family fell apart, and now you don't have a dad, and now you're fucking robbing a liquor store, and now you're in jail getting fucked. And, you know what I mean? Also, consequence-free sex is brand new.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. That is true. Consequence-free sex is brand new.
It's brand new.
Brand new.
100. There was no. Even condoms. Condoms are new. Birth control is bad and evil. I'm very like. You know,
What
at
do you
least
mean by
this
it's
is
evil? What do you mean though? But
it's fucking bad. It's bad for so you want to decrease. You want to literally give your girlfriend poison so that you can nut in her.
Right.
You're a child, bro.
But there's
You're
a lot
acting
of
like a kid.
there's a lot of women who take birth control because their periods are real bad.
I don't care. That's also brand new.
That is also brand new. It's true. That is brand
For
new.
3 billion fucking years, we're fine.
Right.
Now all of a sudden,
Now there's
it's Adderall.
Okay.
It's the same shit as Adderall.
Sure.
Kids have ADHD. No, they don't.
Yeah,
They
that's
fucking,
true.
You know,
But it could be true that, and you and I both know this.
I am. At least I'm still like a hard. I'm still.
I get
stubborn,
it.
you
I
know
know
what
you're
mean?
stubborn,
Yeah.
and that's why you and I are good friends. Is because we're both very stubborn. But I'm more open-minded than you.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's fascinating to talk to you. Every time I talk to you, I never have a boring conversation with you. I've never once had
That's
a
nice.
I had a really
appreciate
boring
that.
conversation with you.
I appreciate that.
But the thing is with girls' menstrual cycles, and I know you and I are very educated about this, but
Yeah, well, I know all about pussies.
So the thing is with girls' periods and girls' menstrual cycles is that they could be affected by things you and I talk about, like the processed foods, the fucking dye in the food, the toxic chemicals, the ultra-processed bullshit. That could be having an effect on women's menstrual cycles, making it worse for them.
Yeah.
Like, I know personally my sister has, don't worry about it, my sister has horrible period cramps. Like, unbearably bad. Or at least she claims She does. She is a woman, so we never know when she's not telling the truth. But the thing is,
Right. I do. That's another thing. Like, I think I genuinely do love women, and but I get and I don't really receive flack for this, but like, you know, I think sometimes just stating that we're different, and then you get labeled as like a misogynist or as a sexist, maybe the word. I'm not even like super keen on all that. But just at a base level of like, we're different. And you have strengths and I have strengths.
Sure.
And then you're like an asshole for some reason.
That's crazy.
So
it's nuts.
You know, that's weird. But the other side of that is like these Andrew Tate bros. And
yeah. Going back to what I was saying, let me finish my point though.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is our society might make girls' periods worse right now, just for whatever reason. Birth control might help that. No matter if it's for nutting inside a woman or not.
Yeah, well, it's that thing of like the diet's fucking up our testosterone, so we should supplement. Yeah, I guess if you look at it like that.
That's exactly.
If it's
Same
for
thing
that,
with
if
the
it's
Adderall
for that reason,
too, though, right?
Yeah.
With the Adderall reasons, it's like you have little boys. They're not out. They're not hunting. They're not fishing. They're not playing around. They're not really being little boys.
Yeah. Hey, sit here for fucking 6 hours,
right.
and then you can't, and
give them Ritalin.
Give them Ritalin, and that is criminal.
Yes. Now the Ritalin thing is different because it's not, you know, you don't have to sit in front of a fucking classroom for 6 hours every day. We think we do, but that's wrong.
You kind of do.
You think you do?
Well, I mean, legally you do.
Not
like as
legally,
a human.
yes.
No,
legally you do.
It's probably
that's what
not
I'm saying.
The best way to go about.
Right.
It's a weird. I don't fucking know. I had
to.
fun in school. School's fun, but just to sit there, it's unbelievable that you're just there for that long every day.
See, a lot of people tell me this, that they had fun in school, and I didn't. I just didn't. And I was a dyslexic kid.
Did you have
read.
grades? Do your grades okay?
My grades were they ranged from
because I had fun in
Ds.
school because I failed. That's how you have fun in school.
Yeah,
is you don't do the school.
I never really failed.
Yeah, no, I was bad in school. That's how you have fun.
Okay.
I got kicked. That's part of the reason. I mean, I was pretty hectic too, but I just, you know, failing. I just fucked around. I didn't really care. I came to school. I was on so much Adderall in middle school that I aced everything, and then it didn't work when I got to high school.
Really?
Yeah, the tolerance, it stopped working.
Oh.
Right. So it burned through all the potential energy of being on a stimulant as a kid. I used it all up in middle school, acing tests that didn't matter at all.
Right.
Literally did not fucking matter at all. And so and then I got to high school and the pills stopped working, so I just went off them anyway. Dude, going off I'm still fucking getting through it. And I mean, part of it is like I'm a little irresponsible stacking that on top of it. But when you're on that pill for that long, and no victim mindset fucking sob story shit. But when you go off of that strong of a stimulant, you don't fucking, like, you have to relearn how to learn, bro. Like, nothing.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, I'm still late to shit. I was late today.
I think about that all the fucking time with my buddy Matt. My buddy Matt had real bad ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes we would hang out with him and we would talk to him. And he would just look at us and go, beater, 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 beater,
What is
beater.
that?
Do you remember Family Guy? Remember Peter?
Oh, yeah.
But then on the online they switched the P to a B, and so it's beater.
Yeah.
And so he would just say that over and over and over again,
like as a joke,
tick.
or what he had a tick.
It was almost
like a
like
tick thing.
It was almost like he started it as a joke, and then he couldn't help himself but stop. He couldn't stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then some days we'd walk in, and he would just be quiet and not talk and be very silent.
Right.
And you'd just be like, oh, wow, so Matt, you took your pill today.
Yeah.
Completely different person.
Yeah. Well, and it's exactly So many kids got, dude. So many kids got with that shit.
So many.
And you know, I mean that's why like, you know, I think Huberman said coffee lasts about 6 to 8 hours.
Yep.
Right. So, like I got a show in 2 hours, so calf up, right? But I mean, it literally, when I wake up, I set that little timer because you're not supposed to drink it within 90 minutes of waking up.
Yeah.
I wake up, fucking, not really getting much of anything done. The timer goes off. I drink my coffee. I'm good for a while. And then I'm caffeinated basically all day, and I try to time it to where by the time I go to bed, it's wearing off. But like, I am like pseudo. I don't like the word self-medicating, but you know what I mean. Like I'm just fucking zooted off coffee all day, and that's like the only helps me think. So I don't know if that's bad. I don't know if that's like a bad thing.
It's all, you know, take care.
Like even
it.
now, I just my first cup, and I'm like this far in, and I'm like my brain's working again.
Yep.
Now, and I'm waking back up, and like, you know, the day's making sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking shit is amazing. I need a coffee machine because I spend too much. I go to these fucking cafes in Austin. Do you go to cafes in Austin?
No.
It's very funny to. They're all gay and stuff.
Yeah. They them coffee's delicious.
It is so good though, and I don't have anything against like. I think I used to be. It's that thing of like I used to be like fucking fags, and now it's like the biggest. I have no place to judge anybody. I think that's a really bad place to. Again, I feel like there was this point where I was like angrier, and I'd really look at people with like this disdain.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you know Kojak?
Yeah.
I remember like every once in a while I'm like, man, he's fucking so gay, ew, right? And I love that guy. We're gonna do a podcast together soon, but like it doesn't matter. Like, look, I've met gay people who are better people than I am. Like, what? Just because I like pussy, that doesn't make me better than you to base level. Do you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, right?
I can't get over what you said. Okay.
But it's true. You
know,
right. Any straight dude in public who sees two guys kissing, it's not like, oh, that's sweet. It's a fucking. It's just not what we're into, and it's not homophobic. It's not homophobic. It might be homophobic. I don't know, but it's not good to judge people.
All right.
I'm a fucking dickhead. Like, there are gay people that are legitimately way better human beings than I am. Like, I'm an asshole. So.
All right. So
you're not ready for Austin. It's gay people. Ugh, broke you. You are not ready for this town, bro. I don't know where you're from, but welcome to Texas.
Okay. All right. Number one. Well, let's go off the last thing you said. Number one, you might be ready for Texas, just not Austin, Texas. Yeah. Because there are some very homophobic parts in Texas. Just not Austin. Austin's goes over the line of not being homophobic to where the whole city's a little gay.
It actually, and that's the thing. Everyone does that here. Austin's fucking gay. No, it's right in the middle because it's a blue city surrounded by red. So can gay people come and be gay here, right? Yeah. But I can also be like, fag.
Yeah.
And I can do that too.
Yeah.
So it's just what Austin is it's the 90s. That's what it is here
90s.
Because it equals out to be just, you can come to a comedy show and you can be a gay dude and no one's going to fucking beat you up.
Yeah.
But also, I can be like, look at this queer. And people will laugh. Usually the gay dudes laugh too.
Yeah.
The gay dudes I've met in Austin and the trans people I've met in Austin
dudes.
And all the whatever the fuck I've met here are generally like, and again, I exist within the comedy thing, so it's different. But they are the coolest version of those. Because back home, it was like, fucking, they're mean to me. They hate me because I'm straight, or they hate me because I'm white. And here, generally, people... I don't know if it's the fucking stand-up thing or what, but, like, generally, people here get along so well, despite
it's
being
partially the stand-up thing.
It has to be part of the stand,
Yep.
because like there's Juanita's trans, Alexis is trans. There's a few trans people. There's gay people all over.
Yeah.
Black.
Doesn't matter.
Everyone likes to laugh.
Yep.
And everyone likes to be shit on.
Yep.
Juanita can take a joke like a champ.
So
Everyone, I've only run into a few people here that get kind of upset about race jokes or
Yeah.
gay or whatever. It's like, dude, we're all here to fucking have a good time.
Yeah.
I get that I'm a white dude. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I
is a
get,
good
I get
time
what
to
you're
be
saying.
in.
So, number one, let's go back to what you first said. Kojak
Mm-hmm.
is a gay comedian in Austin, Texas.
He's a black gay guy.
Yeah, so let's get that.
Which I think
out of the
cancels
way.
out. But black dudes are having a bad year right now. Because they're all gay now. Do you know what I mean, though?
I always know what you mean.
Yeah.
So let's get that out of the way first. Some straight guys see two gay guys kissing, and they're like, ugh, that's gross. It depends. For me, it's always dependent on what context it's in. If I see anybody making out in public, it's like, that's kind of gross. Even if it's like a hot woman and a hot man making out, I'm like, get a fucking bedroom.
Yeah, but if it's don't even do this right now. You're trying. If you saw two grown men kissing,
I'd join.
I was just gonna say. That's what I was just gonna say. That's what I was gonna say.
Beat you to the punchline. Yeah. And again, in what context am I watching two men make out? Just like in what
shop.
context? See, that's weird.
Park.
That's weird. No matter what, if I saw a man and a woman making out in a coffee shop, I'd be like, that's weird.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's.
That's how I feel about watching two men kiss in a coffee shop. It's the same reaction.
Nah, it's worse for me.
It's not for me.
It's 100% worse for me, and I'll stand on that.
You and me are two different people. It's the same PDA reaction. It's the public display of affection of like, dude, go get a fucking
but that's
bedroom.
crazy. The two guys kissing is objectively crazier.
Oh, well, it's definitely not as normal.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's definitely not as
it's
normal.
More like fucking. Oof. Whoa! It's like it's crazy.
All right, I'll give you the whoa reaction.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have that. Yeah.
It's a little much.
I'll get the whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. No. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is. Look, again, public display of affection, I'm disgusted by. I think showing other people's happiness in public is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
On itself, because I'm somebody who wants, who is mostly depressed most of the day. So when I see somebody having like a good time, I'm like, the fuck is his problem?
I catch myself hating on couples sometimes because I'm like, it's really. I mean. It depends. Sometimes I'm happy for them, but every once in a while I see a couple and I'm like, you guys are gonna break up.
Oh yeah.
She's gonna fucking ruin you.
Did you have that reaction with me?
I'm like, yeah, kind of. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, because I didn't know you as well back then, so I feel fine saying this. I saw you bringing your girlfriend to an open mic, and I went 3 months. That's what I did in my head. I went, it's fucking over. And it's what's fucked up is, dude, that's why young relationships are so fucking finicky. That's the problem. But the problem with two kids dating,
Yeah.
is that the girl being a girl is fine.
Yeah.
But you need the guy to be a man, and so if the guy isn't a man yet, it fucks the whole thing up. That's really what it is. So because you're still young and you're like soft and open-minded, and it's this fluttery. That's why young love is so fucking.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah, 100%. Because you need one person needs to be like this. Person needs to be like this, and it's basically usually it has to be the guy. Because there's like, because reality will fucking stomp down. Young love is like a flower, and reality is a dude with a boot on walking.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
and so it's
in this case,
and it's that's the thing with the flower. It's like it's so fucking fun to have a girlfriend when you're young, and it's just like the most wow. But you're not like this yet. You're not like grizzled and fucking and you need that. You need one person to be like that, and a girl needs that, whether that she thinks she does or not. I think in some weird kind of way, and that's why a lot of times. You find in relationships or marriages that last a long time, the wife is like 5 years younger than the husband.
Right.
Because when you're if you're not dating a girl, your relationship to her is maybe that of like a sister, or you're just friends. You're friends.
Right.
If you're dating a girl, she's your girlfriend, fiance, whatever. Now she's and this sounds weird. But it's just the closest thing I can.
You've said a lot of weird things already. It's okay.
That's fine. But it's closer to. It's like she's your responsibility. Now she's like your daughter.
Yeah.
It's not as weird as that sounds.
Well, not. Yes.
That's just the best word for it.
Got it.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah. You have to take care of her.
She's your responsibility now. She needs to eat. She needs to. And if she, and it just depends. And it's not that like. It's not. I'm not saying like she can't have a job or I'm not doing any of this. That's like
yes.
That's like you can take that too far. Like this super new wave.
Well, it's also
the trad wife shit. My grandparents or my grandma's parents, they were married their whole life, and a lot of the stories that she talks about, it's not so. This trad wife movement and shit, it's like they're imitating what a real traditional relationship is. Because my grandma saw one, she grew up with one, and it was real. And so it's like a mockery. They're like trying to do that, but they're falling short. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not so strict, but there is still the archetype of like. That's what works back then. That's also it's not. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's sexist. So the guy has to do the hard work. Listen, if you lived on a fucking farm in Minnesota in 1890 or whatever the fuck, and your husband's a big strong man, hey, can you go deal with the horses and shit, and I'll stay in here and cook? That's not sexist. That's just what works. That's real life. So, you need to be men and women complement each other. So you need to be, if you have a girl who's girly, you need to be a man who's manly, or the whole thing will fall apart. But that's what's sad about young relationships, is because you're kids, and so you don't have any reason to be angry and grizzled, because you're like, I'm getting my dick sucked, this is awesome. And so when she convinces you to be like a sweetie pie, you'll listen. It's this fucking perfect trap that girls set, where they're like, please open up and be more sensitive. Yeah. And then you do that, and they dry up. Yeah. Because they've lost respect for you as a man.
Right.
See what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, she's like, well, I just think, I don't care what you think.
You're right.
I'm your dad.
Please open up.
No.
Absolutely don't ever open up to a woman.
Absolutely not. Don't. You shouldn't tell. Your problems should never be told to your girlfriend, your mom, your grandma, any women in your life, and then certain family.
I tell my mom a lot of problems.
Right, and that's it's hard to get out of that.
Now
I still do it every once in a while.
Yeah, I do it.
Yeah,
now, I've never told her about my depression.
Right.
I've never done that. The one time I did do that, she although this is a different situation. I told my mom once I was depressed, and then she said, do you want me to take you to an orphanage so I can show you a reason to be depressed?
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's cool also.
That's cool.
It is cool. That's the truth. Because these fucking fags are like, well, I'll put you on this pill, and it'll make you even... Dude, I'm telling you, I'm so glad I was raised by my grandma, because I have a direct link to what the fucking world used to be, and it's so skewed from. It's all this shit, man. And I sound like an old man, and I'm a Republican, and I'm a fucking whatever, throw whatever you want on me, but it's like, this is unnecessary, all this fucking garbage. So, But yeah, you should when you have real problems, bro. Your women worry enough. They like worrying. They don't need worry on top of women. Like the perfect date for a girl, because women fucking think all the time and they plan and they feel. They're very empathetic, which is good. You need that. Right. Sometimes it's very nice to have women around who can like tune into how you're. It's nice. But they think all the time. They live where emotions dictate what they do a lot.
Yeah.
And again, it's like men have a bunch of downfalls too. It's just when I talk about women's, it's fucking you're a hater. No, I'm not. Women are sick. All right, they're the best. I was raised by my grandma. I love her. But best date for a girl is to just have her not think for like 3 hours, and just, hey, I got this planned. We're gonna go here. We're gonna do this. And at first she's gonna kind of, but you kind of just pick her up. You spin her around.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, fuck, I actually didn't have to make any decisions or be worried for 3 hours because you're like, I got you. And you set her back down. You go, wasn't that fun? So women worry enough. You shouldn't go tell your problems to, if you've been married for like 40 years, that's another thing.
Right.
That's maybe a different animal. But you go to like if I was in a fucked position, I would go to one of my good friends. Go to a boy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You wouldn't call if you were in a war, you wouldn't call your wife and be like, I just got shot in the fucking leg.
Right.
You're going to freak her out. She's going to be at home puking, right?
Yeah.
So you you get a good friend. I think women are great, but I think they need someone to be strong. They need the rock thing. I heard this this lady describe. She goes, you know what I like about my husband is that he's, whether I'm pissed or sad or whatever, wherever I'm in, I'll go all the way up into like freaking out and I'll come all the way back down and he's still just there and he's like, you okay? And he was just kind of there the whole time. Mm-hmm. Not, so I don't know. I'm yapping. The coffee's got me fucking.
Yeah, it's got you going.
I'm awake now. It's
wow,
really
that's
good.
crazy. And you haven't even had a drink yet.
No. You see what I mean, though? Or, even I can tell just a difference in my tone of, like, my brain. I shouldn't say need. Yeah. Because it's bad. But, like, coffee is a miracle drug. That is one thing I will stand. Coffee, I have a hard time avoiding nicotine. I don't know where you're at with nicotine. But
no, I'm okay with nicotine.
It?
I don't need any nicotine ever.
Do you use it?
I love it.
Right, that's what I mean. It feels fucking awesome.
It's great. I get how people get addicted to it. The problem is I already have too many addictions, and I've kicked nicotine, and I don't want to bring it back into my life.
Right.
And so I'm keeping it out because I already have too many vices. I'm trying to quit weed. When you met me, dude, I was probably smoking close to every day, if not every day.
Yeah, you were young. You were doing what every young kid does when they first move out. And they go, no way, I can hit a bong in my apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And not only that, it was like, the problem is with, I think where I was, is if you're somebody who smokes weed, like, a lot, but you never get, like, because there's just a difference between people like me who smoke weed and then somebody who sits on the couch and eats Doritos all day long.
So you smoke and go do stuff.
I like smoking and going to go work out.
That's
what I love to do.
I like that. I do like that.
And that's what I love. It's like I like smoking weed and going to 3 open mics. I like smoking weed and going to my work at job. I like smoking weed and I like, working out. I like smoking weed and I like cleaning up my entire apartment. The thing is when that happens, you get into such a routine of doing everything while you're high. You just go, you can do this without it, and you probably do it better, right?
Yeah.
And then that's been slowly taking over my brain.
I had a hard time going to the gym when I quit smoking weed.
Yeah, I did too.
And so cleaning the apartment, gym, yes,
gym
on weed.
Sure.
Open mics, work, absolutely not.
So I loved it. But the thing is when I stopped, because I did it so slowly. Mm-hmm. Like, I started with 1 day a week, no weed. Right now, I'm up to 3 days a week, no weed.
That's good.
But, like, even today's my smoke weed day.
Have you heard?
I haven't smoked any weed today.
Yeah.
Not because, you know, it's not like a thing of like, oh, you know, you shouldn't smoke weed. It's like, no, I'm allowing myself to smoke weed, but like, I have a podcast with Alex Olinger and I have a podcast with Nick V. I don't want to be high if they're not going to do it with me. And if they're not going to do it with me, so be it. I'll be sober.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so that's sort of the path I've kind of started to go down. We'll see if it works. I'm about 2-3 months in of just not smoking weed 3 days a week.
You to quit something, you really do have to despise the thing.
Yeah.
You have to, in your head, it has to be bad. If you still find parts of the substance or habit or whatever it is, parts of it to be admirable, then good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck. You have to actually hate. I started when I stopped quitting weed. It was because I started to hate weed and the culture around it and the people who I saw smoking it all the time. I just see them fucking treading water, and yeah, there's outliers. There's fucking okay, what about this guy? This guy smoking. You're not that guy.
You're not that guy.
You're not that guy. Yeah, maybe 1 in fucking 20 people can smoke and get a bunch of shit done and learn and do that, but you're not that. And so using these fucking and this is Sam Hyde said this. Taking these exceptional outliers as an example of why to justify your fucking degeneracy is retarded. It's stupid. I talk about this on stage. I'll do a fucking 10-minute rant on weed.
Yeah.
I went to a coffee shop.
I know you hate weed.
I fucking hate weed.
And when I met you, you were smoking all the time, which is, again, so fascinating.
I know.
Very
And that's why people go, well, you just don't Yeah, I was in it. And that's the same thing with this new age spiritual shit. And they go, well, you just closed-minded and you don't get it. No, I was in it. I was in that. I was on that side of it. I was on the mushrooms and yoga and the fucking Ram Dass and all that shit. And it leaves you feeling empty. And I feel way better coming to just a little, like, I mean, it's hard to explain in English, but like the archetype of like weed and yoga versus coffee and lifting weights. I feel way better over here than this loosey goosey shit on this side. Sure. And I can't, you know, I remember my uncle got mad at me for smoking weed. I've talked about this on stage too. And I'm like 16 and I'm a pothead and I'm living at home and I'm like, so what's the difference between, because he's drinking a beer and I'm like, what's the difference between if I want to have this and you want to have that? And the audacity for me as a 16-year-old to look at this dude who makes 6 figures a year and drove here in a fucking BMW and being like, what do you know about? Because he's like, because I make fucking, because I have $1 million in the bank. That's why I'm telling you what to do, you fucking little bum. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And so it's very funny. There was a point where I was like, I would have, you know, my uncle was saying stuff like this, and I'm like, well, you just don't get it. And I'm like, oh, he was right. He was right the whole fucking time. He was right about this shit. And I don't know. And I feel more comfortable, you know, if I'm stubborn and closed-minded, cool. I like it. Like, it's fun. It's fun to get on stage and be like, fuck that. This is gay.
This is gay.
Yeah, it's gay.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
But also, I think. But then every once in a while, I go, "Am I an asshole?" That little thing creeps in of like I'm judging people because I'm fucking a dumbass too. So you know.
So, for me personally, and everybody's different, and I might think differently about this 3 years from now too.
Right. See, that's the thing. Is like I was there, man.
Right, and I might feel differently about it. I am. I hope to get to a point where I smoke weed like a normal, like normie, like twice a week, right? And I'm slowly getting there, and I'm gonna keep getting there. And I've just showed with like progress to myself where I'm like, no. Either you have to hate something to get rid of it, or you have to have an insane amount of discipline. To like really try to fix your habits. I've been drinking since I was 13.
A respect for a substance might be a good word. That's
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's what I've started to do is really respect marijuana. Look, I have really bad depression. I was diagnosed with it at 13. I don't want to sound like every kid from my generation, a faggot. Yeah. But the thing is like,
But
My
also,
mom,
you're not that much younger than I am.
I'm not that much younger than you.
Yeah.
But also,
We would have been in the same high school.
We would have been. Yeah, it's
so
so
the
fascinating
generation
to think
thing.
about.
Yeah, we'd have been in the same high
Right,
school.
so we're
and
very
the
similar
fucking
generation.
doctors would have been trying to tell us the same. Yeah.
Right.
it was
Well,
all the
we
same
were
shit.
both put on, prescription drugs at a very young age.
Yeah.
But either way, the thing is I just think with what I have, these very small moments of like blissfulness is really good for me to have. Now, again, I might think differently
Right.
about that 3 years from now. The thing is that I've really come to terms with is like, you don't need that all the time.
Yeah.
This idea that you need to have this blissfulness in life all the time is horseshit.
Yeah.
You just don't need it. And also, life is hard. No matter which way you put it, life is kind of difficult, and
Yeah.
you should experience that difficulty. And
Mhm.
also, the more difficulty you experience, the more I enjoy the marijuana. Those very small times I
But
smoke
yeah, it's like
weed.
taking a break in general.
Yes.
So
I like it.
Yeah.
I like when I do it more. And
Yeah.
so not doing, and the thing is it goes both ways, right? The more you don't smoke weed, the more you enjoy not smoking weed.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you don't smoke weed, the more you enjoy those small times you don't smoke
Yeah,
weed.
it's a
or you do
it's
smoke
a
weed.
classic like, you think because you have you're gonna have a job and you think because you have less free time it's gonna be shittier.
Right.
But that 3 hours of free time you do get fucking rules because you just threw tires around for 8 hours
And not only that, you have money.
and you have money. So
And you have
can-
money,
I
so you
know,
can
I know,
have
I know.
more fun.
I know having
with
a job.
your money.
Having a job is good.
So that's exactly the
Yeah.
way literally perfect analogy.
Hippies, bro. That's another whole. That's like the part of the thing I hate is
Yeah.
fucking hippies, and it's not.
You're starting to
it's
sound like Eric Cartman.
a little bit. Yeah, I guess a little bit.
I hate fucking hippies.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's kind of it's like and it's again, it's not out of lack of experience. It's not like, not that a lack of experience would
Yeah.
make the opinion less valid.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm just like a hick and
Yeah.
I've always hated them. I went to that side.
Yeah.
I've done you need to be open-minded. I've been open-minded and it's fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So now I'm over here.
Yeah.
So
Especially with comedy.
yeah.
It's not great to be so open-minded with stand-up comedy.
Being too open-minded is you need to guard your mind.
Yeah.
If you're too open-minded, you're
Yeah.
gonna allow bullshit in.
and then
People
you can
will try to convince you of shit. Like even there's a lot of power in like because that's why even I this is a hard one to talk about. This is a hard and I find myself holding my tongue a lot. But I very old school again views on mental health and shit.
Sure.
And so like if a doctor would tell someone you have depression, immediately I go, what the fuck are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Because if a doctor tells you have depression
Mm-hmm.
and now you believe that,
Mm-hmm.
now you've like you believe you're a depressed person.
Sure.
So what are you gonna feel like?
Depressed.
Shit, right.
Right.
So and again, it's like I'm way over here. I'm old school.
Yeah.
I'm very skeptical of any science at all.
Sure.
I'm so like, science is, it's fucking, every other study is funded by somebody. ADHD, biggest example of that is like, and it's not that there's some kids that, maybe it is real to some extent, some kids need it.
Yeah.
But from what I've understand and what I've read, the blatant overdiagnosis of children for profit,
It's crazy.
it's like real.
crazy.
So, and it's built into the system. I'm just so fucking skeptical of, hey, a doctor said I have this. And I go, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so, and again, I don't want to be an asshole. But the thing is,
No, be an asshole, too.
right. Well, that's the thing
Go
is, like,
ahead.
I want to help. I want to, like.
What you're
It's-
saying is coming from a place of good.
That's what I mean. Is like
Yes.
I don't want someone to sit and believe they're a depressed person if
Sure.
they're really not. And so you're getting a diagnosis from some system that is known to do evil all the time. And I kind of just try to just shake this little thing over here of like, hey man, maybe not, maybe you're not. Maybe don't
Right.
trust. I get that guy has a lab coat on and I get,
Yeah.
but maybe you're not depressed. Maybe maybe life doesn't feel good all the time, and maybe you have a soul that's looking for something bigger than what you're doing.
So,
but I don't know.
And
See,
I don't know if
thing.
you're talking specifically about me.
In general.
Just general. And that's completely fine. And
because you know yourself the best. That's why I don't,
Right.
Yeah.
And it's also always that thing when somebody says, right, I have depression. It's like,
what does that mean?
Okay. All right. So, how long?
Right.
Number one, how long? So what, have you been sad for 2 days?
That's what I mean.
That's normal.
That's a human.
That's
Do you have
human.
depression or are you depressed? It's like, well, I felt bad
Yes.
for a month. It's like, sometimes a month sucks. Sometimes. My grandma said this to me one time. I was kind of having a fucking hard time, and I don't bitch to her so much like I used to. But the thing is, another thing, it's really hard to the thing I said earlier about you shouldn't go to your parents for problems.
Yeah.
It's a very hard transition to make because as a kid, that's all you have. Any problem you have, hey, I got bullied at school, da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
It's mom, it's dad. So transitioning away from that is difficult. But I remember one time I was kind of been like, I'm having a hard time. And she just kind of was like, yeah, well, she goes, life isn't supposed to feel good all the time. That's not the point. And that stuck with me so much. And I've told that to other people, and they seem to like that phrase. But that's a thing that pops in my head whenever I'm, if I'm having a tough time, just a thing of, it's not supposed to feel good all the time. That's not the point.
Right.
And I think some people want that's what they want. They want to, and it's an admirable want. It's not inherently evil to want to be happy all the time.
Right.
But I think the reality of being a human being is that it comes with a lot of shit. And so if you feel bad, you shouldn't panic and think something's wrong.
Right.
It's just like, well, this is like part of the process.
Also, how do you know what happiness is if you're not miserable? At least at some point in your life.
That's why antidepressants are fucking dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
I have friends. They tried
You're
to get
talking
me.
to me.
Yeah.
Did I tell you my story with the antidepressants?
No.
So go ahead. Finish your point.
Well, just that they tried to get me on them. They got me with the ADHD meds.
Yep.
And I think part of the reason. The thing with those meds is, like, if you're fucking a kid who misbehaves, because, I mean, I wasn't getting, ideally, if you're my dad wasn't around, my mom wasn't around, I had no discipline, I wasn't, like, in sports for discipline, I had nothing.
Yeah.
And they see a kid like that, and they go, oh, well, you need med. No, you need to get hit. I need to get my fucking ass kicked. That's what I needed.
Yep.
My cousin, they tried to do the same thing to him, and my uncle was like, you're doing wrestling is what you're doing. You're not going to go on pills. So they put me on those pills. I'm an undisciplined little fucking brat. And so now I'm in class. I'm like this, right? I'm getting all my homework done, and all my teachers are like, wow, great job. So immediate reinforcement from everyone around me solidifies the fact that, I must need this, right?
Right.
The antidepressants, they tried to get me with that. I'm telling you, it's this fucking thing. How much shit can they get you on? And I remember I took them for like a week, and then I was like, this is gay, and I just stopped. Yeah. I was like, this is fucking gay. And the friends that I've known that have been on them, they say, yeah, there's no sad anymore. There's no, like, you don't get real bummed out, but there's no, like, great happiness anymore either.
Right,
Puts you right in the middle, and you're just gray all the time. Nothing is awesome. Nothing is super shitty. Mm-hmm. That's fucking horrendous. That sounds horrible.
So I was on a thing of ecstasy. I can't even describe it. So, and there was a lot of things going on, though, at the time is the thing. So they put me on antidepressants.
Mm-hmm.
COVID happens. Mm-hmm. And then I feel depressed. So they're like, well, you need more, of course. Not the fact that the entire country is locked down.
It's so stupid.
And that you're
it's so
alone
fucking stupid.
For 2 weeks with no social interactions, with no family member, nothing.
And instead of moral support, they offer you a prescription.
Right. And so then I start, and I was sort of a pothead. I mean, sort of. I remember I would get really fucking high on the weekends, and maybe I would get... No. I was getting high on the weekends, I feel like. And
when I first started smoking, too, I wouldn't smoke on weeknights because I was like, I have school.
Right. Yeah. And then the pandemic happened. Mm-hmm. And I start smoking weed every single day. I start drinking every single day, and they're upping my antidepressants.
Bad.
And then I run out of money for the weed and alcohol. So I start selling drugs. And so then when I start selling drugs, there was this girl who was hot.
Is that a homegirl?
Hot, not homegirl.
Different girl.
Different homegirl. You know what? I respect this girl a lot. I don't want to describe anything about her. I might have described her on the podcast before. I don't want to anymore. But either way, this girl was very attractive. And she was like, I'll have sex with you for drugs. And I was like, oh, word.
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, when you're young like that.
And
too.
so she takes my virginity. She is smoking. My dick isn't getting hard. She's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it because of the antidepressants. And I'm drunk all day long.
Dude,
and I'm smoking weed all day long. So I am having sex with this really hot girl. I'm selling drugs every day. I'm on antidepressants. I'm drinking alcohol every day. And I'm smoking weed every day, all while during a pandemic. And I'm 16 years old. And so that was my reality for like 5 months.
Yeah.
And it was just this crazy, hectic, like nuts maniac. I relive this part of my life at least once every day where I'm like, what the fuck was going on?
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck was going on?
Yeah, everyone has a weird little...
Yeah. This is why I'm a comedian, by the way. It's because this was normal at me for one point in life, and people are like, how are you like a comedian? I'm like...
Either.
Dude, in comparison, though, like this being a comedian to what that was like, this is totally fucking normal to me. And so then all of a sudden, the girl I'm having sex with is at rehab in Utah. She's just like, she had to go to rehab because she was on harder stuff than I was.
Wait, can you pause the rehab story for a second?
Yeah.
I have to pee so bad.
Yeah.
I was trying so hard.
Let's take a pause.
Dumb.
Women are dumb.
Kill them.
We're back. There we go. So I was saying,
Kill women. I'm just kidding.
yeah, no, my life was like super fucked up. Girl went to rehab, and then I was just like, I remember that spring, like I started working out and smoking less weed, and I look back at everything and was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. That first girl breaking up with me was like essential to me.
Yeah.
Because it's just you're getting bitch slapped by real life.
Yes.
Because you were living in some sort of like fantasy thing, and then remember what I said about young love being like this weird fleeting thing. So yeah, reality. You're like, what? She didn't mean all.
Yeah.
She didn't mean all that shit. And that's why I'm so careful now with dating and people because you get loosey-goosey with it, you get attached to someone, and it'll fall apart, and it fucking sucks. So I had flings in high school. I had girls that I'd fuck, but I never dated anyone in high school. The first girl I dated was here. And so I had no fucking idea that, I didn't know the breakup thing. I didn't know how to be... the dating. I just didn't really give a fuck. I'm like, this girl likes me, whatever, and... I didn't realize I didn't understand how bad a breakup felt. Like I saw my buddies go through it in high school.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, he's fucking tripping. What is his problem? Yeah, he's acting crazy, you know.
Right.
And yeah. So it's very I remember when I got the breakup happen, I was like, oh, relationships are like dead serious.
Dead serious.
I'm like, this is like a very serious. Because I'm like, this feels like really bad. I'm like, I didn't realize it would feel this bad.
Yeah.
So I've been very cautious about it since then, and because everyone's fucking heartbroken. Like you talk to people even just in the comedy scene.
Oh.
Anyone who takes relationships casually, they're all heartbroken. They're all like, everyone's breaking up, and then those are the guys encouraging you to like, you know. They're like, what's the big deal? Just go date somebody. I'm like, you're fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what we were yapping about.
And we yapped about a lot.
Yeah.
We yapped
I
about
woke
a
up
lot.
mid-podcast.
You did.
Yeah.
I saw it happen.
Did you see it happen?
Oh, yeah. It was like the first 15 minutes, I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to have to, like, kind of carry this podcast a little bit. And then after 15 minutes, you were just like, actually, I'm the host.
Yeah. It's this fucking little magical. And I noticed too. I'm like, oh, I can. I was grabbing words easier again. I was thinking. I could think. I had like, oh, my vocabulary is. I had better access to my vocab.
It's both things too, because when you sit down and you put headphones on and you put mics in front of us, which you and me are very comfortable. The only time we have microphones in our faces is when we have to be entertaining. And so whenever we see a microphone, instinctively as comics, we go, well, it's time to be entertaining. It's time to be funny. And then you have that. You have the voice playing back in your head. And then on top of that, you're drinking coffee. So you're getting like this double hit of like, it's time to go.
A little bit. I didn't feel as much. I feel more a little more comfortable on this. Seems more of a casual podcast versus like
yeah, you
which
went
is
on
really
that
what
one.
you want to. This is what you
went on
be.
that one. What's his name? Matt. His name Matt. Who's the guy's name? I forget whose name you went on.
Ridley?
Was it Ridley?
Michael?
He had the
guy?
beef. Yes, he had the beef with the girl. Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I you know,
I texted you and congratulated you for going on, but yeah, it's the Asian guy.
Yeah, that's Michael. I love that.
Yeah,
he's a boy.
Yeah. He was great. He's a fantastic comedian. Comedian.
Yeah, the pressure to. I have more fun on stage. It's like you don't want to not care too. I don't know. Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, I can say one thing and then I'll bomb and say it. Like I can be like, you know, can be like the best way to do it is not to give a fuck at all, and then I'll go up stage and not give a fuck and I'll bomb.
Right.
But then sometimes you don't give a fuck and you do good. It's just weird.
You gotta care, but you can't panic. It's the weirdest way I can describe it. It's a very odd thing.
Just remember to. That's one thing I was gonna tell you too, is just remember to actually talk with the crowd and connect with them.
Yeah.
And do people who come from a theater background or they've only seen stand up on like Netflix.
Yep.
They come to a show with this very rehearsed script.
Mm-hmm.
And they grab the mic, and you always see this too. You just see a guy grab the mic and just start telling jokes.
Never
and
works.
grab the mic. And go, so the other day so that's I try not to be super opinionated. I have opinions or whatever, but it's also I'm not that deep. I've been doing it for a little bit, but one thing I do notice is the script thing of like. People sometimes do stand up like a theater show.
Yeah.
And where a theater you're expected to watch and you sit down, it's like a movie and you're just expected to sit and follow, and that's not what stand up you're talking to. You're talking to them. You're not performing you are not a movie. You're fucking really there. So, you know.
I always say this. When stand up looks like it's best, when it looks like when you see it at Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr level, it just looks like somebody's there talking. That's what it looks like.
But I think that's what it is.
But it's not, though. You and I both know that it's not just talking.
But it is.
But it's not. Because there's a lot that goes into it. You know that when you tell your bits, you've told them 100,000 times before, and you know which words are supposed to get laughs and which words aren't. There's like a very specific science to it. But at the end of the day, it should just be talking.
Well, I see it. I still think it is just talking.
You think it's just talking?
Because
though?
you're like, it's just like.
But there's magic to it.
I've told this story to 10 people before.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still it's because that's what it is. That's what it's just people.
Right, but
I understand what you're saying.
Right.
It's like there's it's a little different, but like
it has to be a little different. Because otherwise, then why would people come and pay us? Because if everybody can talk,
but that they can't.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's something to it, right? There's got to be something to it. A little
there
deeper.
there is, but it's like I don't know. This is where I get yapping in territory where I'm like, I don't even fucking know what I'm talking about.
All right. Well, do you want to wrap? We gotta wrap this up by like 9 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should wrap this up by 9 o'clock because we gotta get you over to the creek in the cave
You're
for
gonna
a
come?
show.
You're gonna hang out?
Yeah, I'll come and I'll come hang out. I'll come. That's for sure.
I'm gonna come.
Either way, let's wrap this up
I'm
on
gonna
this
come.
because she knows
Pull
a
up
lot.
flashlight with balls.
She knows a lot, and she's gonna talk to her brother about how unimportant college is. So because this is where our society is. This is where it's going, and we have demons sent from hell that are gonna come and try and take us.
I don't
So
know
let's watch
why
this.
you're so set on going to college. Like, just don't, be an entrepreneur like me and be successful that way.
Entrepreneur? You only that's not being an entrepreneur.
Yes, it is. It's a business.
You sell pictures of yourself online. That's not being an entrepreneur.
Okay, well, if you think I'm not a f***ing entrepreneur, let's go band for band.
For band.
Let's go band for band. I bought dad a f***ing car. I'm about to pay off mom's f***ing mortgage. I'll pay for your f***ing college. You don't think that's a f***ing entrepreneur? Then I don't know what the f*** is.
That's just using your money.
That I make through the business of OnlyFans.
Yeah, but it's the business, not being an entrepreneur.
Whatever, I'm not gonna argue with a 10-year-old.
I'm not 10!
Yeah. See, I just can't tell.
I can't tell either, but that is where our society is headed.
I like that dude. What's that fucking kid's name?
Which one? There's a lot of kids.
He's a young kid with a podcast.
He's
like, name 10 books. Remember that kid?
Oh yes,
Name 10 books.
He's
He
hilarious.
seems real because he's pissed
real.
off.
He's real.
Yeah.
He did a podcast with Whitney Cummings, and the clip he released was, "Are you Jewish?" And she goes, "Yeah, I just found out I am Jewish. I don't know what to do with the information." And he goes, "I would keep it to yourself. I wouldn't tell anybody that you're Jewish."
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So
yeah, nowadays, I mean, not just nowadays. We're in. I'm gonna be honest. We're in a weird time, bro. Purple is. I get that the fucking blue-haired thing is hack. Oh, purple-haired college girl. I get it's a hack thing.
Yeah.
But like even those girls, the they them baristas are anti-Semitic now because of the situation in Israel. So it's very interesting to see.
No matter what ideology you go down, it always goes back to blaming the Jews.
Well,
no matter what. And maybe there's something to that. But
I'll say I don't endorse the Talmud.
No.
I'll say that.
You don't endorse Elon?
No, the Talmud.
The Talmud? What's that? I don't know what that is.
We'll close before that. How about that?
Okay, we'll close.
That's
before
way too deep of a rabbit hole.
Okay, we'll close before the Talmud.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for listening to episode 167. This is Nick V. He's a fucking amazing comic. We're gonna go do a show, or he's gonna go and host a show. I'm gonna watch on the sidelines.
No, you're gonna yell. I'm gonna make you yell.
Hey, I've had 2 drinks in me. You don't know what I'll yell. Anyways, thank you so much for coming on, dude. Come back on every month if you want. I don't care. Maybe we'll get you on with you and Kenny Buttons next time, like we do.
I would love to do me and Kenny, man.
Yeah,
I would love to do that.
Anytime. Nobody else is in the apartment anymore, so literally whenever you guys have time, let me know, and I will make it happen.
Thank you.
All right, thank you
Thanks, bro.
so much. Yep, absolutely.
You're-
Bye, everybody.